Hey guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life and welcome to my next Prisoner review. In today's video I am going to be looking at Prisoner Cell Block H episode 17, Goodbye Aunty. Now, the very ending of this episode literally brought tears to my eyes. Now, even though I've seen Prisoner over the years countless times, there are moments that I have forgotten, and this was one of them. So I will kick this video off with Frankie, Doreen and the lovely Miss McBride. So we learn in this episode that it is Miss McBride's 71st birthday, just after Frankie has finished writing a letter to Karen Travis. Now, Doreen suggests that they have a party at the house to celebrate, and Doreen and Frankie, they celebrate with Miss McBride and they really make her day, and it's just so nice to watch. Miss McBride tells them both that normally she doesn't go out or do anything on her birthday. She pretty much just puts on her best clothes and sits at home having a sherry or two. And this, I suppose, having a party, this really, means so much to Miss McBride. During the celebrations, Miss McBride's nephew arrives with a present, and Frankie and Doreen, they hide in the kitchen. Now, when he comes into Miss McBride's house, he goes around her living room looking at things on the shelf and saying that, "This is nice, Auntie. Oh, you do have a lot of nice things." It just made me think that he is checking out all of his auntie's stuff, hoping that she is going to be dying soon so he can inherit his share, even though he barely even goes round to see her. Anyway, the nephew then goes into the kitchen and finds Doreen and Frankie. Now, they tell him that they are just friends with Miss McBride, and Miss McBride even backs up their story. Now, everything seems like it's going very well, but then the nephew goes to make a phone call to the police, but Frankie catches him and she basically hangs up the call. Frankie then threatens him with a knife, and they pretend that they've had Miss McBride as a hostage just so she won't get into any trouble for harboring escaped convicts. Frankie and Doreen then throw the nephew into a locked cupboard, but now it's time to go. Now, I do love the bit where Frankie jokingly says, "We better, tie the old bat up," and then Miss McBride, she ends up bursting out laughing with them. I thought that was really nice. But when Frankie and Doreen say their goodbyes at the very end of the episode, my heart broke. Miss McBride watches them both leave and she puts her hand up and she, one final time and says bye, with the most beautiful soft voice ever, with tears in her eyes, and I had tears in my eyes. It was such a sad moment because Miss McBride has been on her own for so long, and she really did break her heart, and it broke my heart as well. Let's talk about new character Barbara Davidson, who is a new inmate, and she is also Erica's niece. Safe to say, Erica is not impressed. Not only is Barbara the governor's niece, but she's also in prison for drugs, and as we all know, B hates drugs. Barbara is a bit of a princess, at least that's the first impressions that I got from her. To me, she is someone who is used to getting her own way, and she's also a little bit of a shit stirrer. Erica tells her not to tell any of the women that they are related, but literally not even 5 minutes after meeting B and the women, she tells them all about it. Like, what the hell? Barbara does end up telling Erica that B, Monica and Lizzie all set Vera up in the last episode, and I was just thinking, you stupid girl, you are literally making yourself a dangerous target. So you can now add lager to the list of things that B is going to be very angry about. So Vera is reinstated and Barbara manages to get away with the lagging thing for the moment. As soon as Vera is back, she smashes out her authority to the women, but when Vera finds out from Meg that it was Barbara who helped reinstate her, Vera goes to see her alone in the cell, and then Vera and Barbara, they kind of strike up some weird trust thing, and Vera even says that she's grateful to her. I have a feeling that this is all gonna end in tears, and it's certainly not gonna end well for Barbara, who is playing a seriously dangerous game. She kind of reminds me of those children who would go around causing trouble on purpose and putting the blame onto other kids. Steve Wilson and Greg Miller were both shocked to discover that Karen was pregnant once upon a time and she had an abortion. It all comes out when Steve talks with Karen's doctor, and then Karen tells Steve the full story when he sees her. She was forced to have the abortion even though she always wanted children, and when she got home later that day, that was when she found her husband in bed with another woman, which of course could help Karen, when she goes to court for her appeal. In the last episode, Lynn Warner, she had slashed her wrists and she was found by Meg and Karen, and in this episode, she was rushed into the hospital and she was saved just in the nick of time. Now, we didn't really get to see any more of Lynn in this episode apart from a nighttime scene where she was calling out for Doug in her sleep. Now, no doubt Lynn will probably be back in the next episode or the episode after that. I just hope the writers give this character a break for a little bit. She's been through so much. There was a new officer in this episode called Officer Manson. Now, this officer isn't in Prisoner for very long, but what's interesting is that the woman playing Miss Manson is no other than Anne Phelan, who will later on come back and play Top Dog Myra Desmond in the show. It was just really funny seeing her play an officer in this particular episode, and she was given a little bit of a hard time from the women. A scene that I really liked in this episode was when B was speaking with Karen in the middle of the night in the cells, and B was talking about the time when she had killed her woman during the first time she came into prison, because this woman was having an affair with her husband on the beach, and B ended up breaking down crying. It was really interesting hearing a bit more of a backstory, and it really showed just how much of a passionate woman that B Smith really is. I'd actually forgotten about this scene completely, so it felt like that I was rewatching something quite new for the first time, and I really enjoyed it. So all in all, not a bad episode. Lots going on, a new character causing trouble, ending with a little bit of a tearjerker. My favourite part of this episode has to be the ending when Miss McBride says goodbye to Frankie and Doreen. It was so sad to watch and it genuinely brought tears to my eyes. My least favourite moment has to be Barbara Davidson lagging to her, Aunty Erica about the Vera incident. That's just not cool, and boy, is that gonna come back and bite Barbara in the ass. So guys, let me know in the comments box below what your thoughts are on this episode, and let me know if the ending of this episode always makes you tear up, because it really pulled on my heartstrings. Okay then, well that's all I have for you in this video, but don't worry, the next one is on its way. So thank you all for watching, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and I will see you all again very, very soon.